Welcome to ArmBreakdown, the place for latest and greatest updates in the sport. Alright, so I'm finally back after, to be honest, a much needed break following what happened last weekend. So East vs West 20 not only delivered, but in my opinion maybe even over-delivered, bringing us not only some truly exciting matches, but also many wholesome moments between the athletes and definitely few big surprises. Now we also found out that Vitaly will face Levon next instead of Devin or Michael, as the match between them seems to be somewhat confirmed and will be happening next year in February. Now if you want to know my opinion and what I thought about the event overall, then make sure you check out my recent post on the community tab where I talk all about that. But anyways, let's get into some recent arm wrestling news and see what's happening at the moment. So first off, let's talk about Riekerd Bornman and also his brother Duvan. Now in my opinion, Riekerd is definitely one of the best rising talents and also someone who I would say is slowly becoming somewhat of a superstar in the scene, with his first successful win being at East vs West 18 against Wallace Dilly, a match that wasn't too easy but definitely put him on the map. Then after that he followed up with beating a very experienced puller Pavlo Derbedeniev at East vs West 19. And yes, I do know that Pavlo got injured in the first round, but in my opinion, a win is a win. So just like a lot of you, I also thought that the next time we would see Riekerd on the big stage would be at East vs West. However, it turns out we were all wrong because he actually has some other plans in mind. Since Riekerd, besides his younger brother Duvan, is actually set to compete, with them both having a super match on November 15. Now since this competition format is called Brothers vs Brothers, they will also be facing another arm wrestling duo from South Africa, with Riekerd's opponent being Koos Fury and Nick Fury for Duvan. Now from what I could find about their opponents, I don't think that this will be a big challenge, at least for Riekerd, since in my opinion he has faced higher level competition not only at East vs West but also at other promotions. But now let's talk about his brother Duvan, who is also competing at the same event. So an interesting fact about Duvan, who by the way is only 17 years old, is that this will actually be his first official super match. Now if you haven't been following Duvan, or maybe didn't even know that Riekerd has a younger brother, then let me be the first one to tell you that this guy is definitely worth follow because he is really impressive. Now just like his brother Riekerd, he also has some crazy genetics, especially for 17 years old. But besides that, he's also following a pretty good exercise routine whilst also doing some impressive weights. And I honestly do believe that he has all the tools necessary to be successful in the future. But either way, let's not jump to conclusions and see how he does in his first match, which will then show us what his level really is and how good can he be. Then next, let's talk about Michael Todd, who as of lately is thinking about switching divisions and possibly going down to 115. Now since Vitaly chose Levon to be his next opponent, Michael's never-ending path to Levon got pushed further and may even be gone forever. So because of that, Michael is really considering moving down in weight, with him possibly challenging the title of 115. So this eventually brings us to Dave Chafee, who as you all know last weekend successfully grabbed the title from Ibrahim Sagov and became the new title holder. So for me, the problem is actually their previous match, which happened all the way back in 2019, where Michael, like most of the time, went into his King's move and of course stopped Dave, eventually of course draining Dave completely out of his endurance and winning 3-0. Now the reason why I'm referring to this match is because I believe the same thing will happen once again. I think that despite him looking very impressive against Ibrahim last weekend, he will once again be stopped by Michael's King's move, who we all know is probably the best one out there. Then the match will become about endurance, and even though Dave has lost a lot of weight and is probably in his best shape ever, he won't outlast Michael, who can sit in that King's move even longer. However, in the last few days there has been some rumblings between these two, so this match could very well happen. And then lastly, we also gotta talk about Ermes Gasparini and his future plans, which might also include him switching divisions. So yesterday, Ermes actually did a live stream with Jake, or Ozzy the Arm Wrestler, on his YouTube channel. And here Jake asked him about his future opponents next year, and also whether the possibility of him switching to 115 is actually real. So first off, Ermes said that next year he would like to compete not more than 2 times times while saying that he would like to face Artyom Morozov and also do the rematch with Devon. Now, as far as him switching to 115, which to be honest is something that he has talked about quite recently, he basically said that if Robert really wants him to, and if it does make sense for him, then why not, since at the moment there is a lot of buzz surrounding 115 and also many great opponents. But anyways, I would like to know what you think. What do you think about the recent surge of athletes who are possibly dropping down to 115? And also, who do you think should be next to challenge for the title? Leave your comments down below. So if you enjoyed this video, be sure to let me know by clicking like, and also consider subscribing to my channel, where I post not only videos like this but also everything that's going on in arm wrestling at the moment. So if you do stick around, welcome to the community, and I will see you in my next video.